fight with the NIH, right? So they sent somebody over there, snuck in this one bullet to make everybody else forget about the story as it came out.
No, I don't believe that.
As soon as they just shut me down.
But honestly, that's probably the best transition you can get for your topic.
So, um, yeah, where do we start with this one? So, the NIH finally put out a report, and the paraphrase for it, the NIH did give funds to EcoHealth,
Mhm.
and
EcoHealth Alliance. Got you.
EcoHealth Alliance gave those funds to the Wuhan lab, but NIH did not know what the funds that were being used for because they were reported back to them wrong, falsely or wrongly.
Yeah.
So, in essence, yeah, we gave them the money. We just didn't know why we gave them the money. So, yes, the NIH did inadvertently fund the Wuhan lab, where some people believe the COVID-19 virus originated from.
Yeah, and I've said it too. It early on in the pandemic, I toted, it had to be made in the lab. How does it go from nothing to something? But after I read the New York Times article, and I'll share it in chat, it's just a stupid long link, guys. It's not great. Basically, the NIH knew that it was going to study a different bat virus called W1V1, and there are some other arguments that we had pre-show that Ethan was talking about, and I'll let him get to those. But basically, the main argument is, should have we have been fucking around with a bat virus?
So I guess the biggest telltale sign. So like we talked about it earlier, and it's been going around. Like Fauci lied. Fauci needs to be arrested. All this. A lot of public sentiment is starting to change on Fauci a little. And to me myself, I don't know how you could trust the guy after this, because he did sit in front of Congress, and his sworn testimony is that him and staff members up and down the line have studied the papers that came out and studied the grant, studied all the information, and EcoHealth did not fund the COVID-19. That's all they say, right? But they funded the laboratory, and the laboratory might have produced COVID-19, is where the semantic argument breaks apart, right?
Yeah.
So that people like Fauci has said on record multiple times, where he always takes it to, we did not fund the COVID-19. But the research paper that the money went to the laboratory, and the research paper that was received from the laboratory for that money, does talk about them finding various amounts of corona bat viruses. So when you just do context clues right, the short answer, the short explanation, hey, you gave them money, they were studying this other one, in turn they found these ones, and then they manipulated these viruses, right? So it's just like, when's he going to start being straight with us? Do you think people would have more trust in him if he would have said, we came back, we searched the papers, we researched, we found out that they lied to us and they did use the money for this when we thought it was for this other virus?
Well,
which in turn, all we've gotten is, no, we didn't do it. So it's like,
well, he's not wrong. They funded EcoHealth Alliance, but EcoHealth Alliance can use those funds on whatever research that they can. It's not like the NIH or the CDC, which Fauci is in charge of. Or sorry, a charge of, I think he was the director. I may be wrong. I know that Dr. Francis Collins is director for the NIH, but they may not have known where those funds had gone to. I mean, we didn't know about the report until
But that
2018
also,
when it was released, and then we
yeah.
find out more information from Wuhan directly from EcoHealth. I mean, these past 2 weeks.
So that raises the big question:
Mhm.
should they be giving taxpayer money if they don't know what the research is?
I think that, and this is my personal opinion, especially because I'm a tinkerer, and technology technically falls into the science category. If you're running a science experiment and you're asking for funding, you should absolutely disclose what that funding is for and where it's going to. Because other than
So
that, how the fuck are
that's
we know that your research is correct or not?
yeah. So that's right there. That point is where I'm at. Right. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can understand the nuances of everything else. Right.
Yeah.
You know, as my line of work, I could tell you what I think and what I expect, but it could be a little different, right? It could cost a little more, or it could be cost a little less, right? Sometimes you got to get into it and find out. But that's the real problem I have is that if they don't know why they're giving out money, why are they giving out taxpayer money?
Yeah,
And
no, that
especially when you tell me that we're in a budget crisis, then you're just throwing out money, that, and you're not going to have an answer for it. That's where my issue comes in.
yeah.
And if you're going to lie to me about that stuff, what else are you massaging the truth about?
Mm-hmm. No,
Mhm.
I get your frustrations. I totally understand them, and I would like to know more about that too. But from what I know about the research, the money was handed over in 2014, leading up to 2018. 2018, they stopped receiving funds, and they also produced their paper.
So my question is, does anyone know who the NIH director was in 2014? Was it
I
the same current as now, or was it what is it somebody else who we should be putting the blame on? That's my.
Yeah, give me a second. Let me find that out. I know that the current director is Dr. Francis Collins. Let's see, NIH Clinical Center Director. Any report? Nope. That gives me nothing. I have no clue who the director was at the time.
And then again, it's like we have things like this that are giving out taxpayers money, and we don't even know what they are, right? Have you honestly ever heard of the NIH before 2018?
I've heard of them before. Um, Before that, when I heard of them before, I can't tell you. Damn it! I
But
switched.
at the end of the yeah,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, I think with this situation and the questions that are being arose, especially with the story that came out today about the way they were testing on beagles,
Mhm. Mhm.
and they were pretty much torturing these animals to death, and it's just like they're only people are only gonna dive deeper into what was being funded and the type of research and bringing light onto things.
Mhm.
So, uh, if they really want to make the situation better, I think they would have Fauci step aside in a respectful manner.
Mhm. But
And
mhm.
but if he keeps going, and the way he is, I don't see a path where he doesn't go to jail.
But what if he just wasn't informed on it? What if nobody told him? And I did find out who the director 2014 was. So the NIH was established by Obama in 2014, and uh, it is Francis Collins has been in charge since then.
Okay.
Yeah, and in 2017, 2018, or one of those 2017. I remember seeing on the website 2017. He was also sworn in by Trump. So he's sworn in by both Obama and Trump, both sides of the aisle. And maybe it should be this guy who's being held accountable. I mean, we don't know what's going on within our own government as to whether or not the scientists who are working for our government are communicating. And if they're not, that's a problem.
And that's the biggest thing, right? Because the chief medical officer of the United States, right? Just to put it in terms, right? Is Anthony Fauci. So if all of this was happening under his watch per se, then how can we trust him moving forward? And that silence right there is why I think if it was the smart move would be to him to step aside so that the drama and the problem are separated, right? So, because no one's going to listen to anything he says about, any recommendations he gives, I wouldn't listen to, right? After the double mask, the triple mask, the masks do nothing, the masks are everything. There was already a lot of back and forth that questioned his. We've been watching How I Met Your Mother, right?
Yeah.
So that put a lot of questions on the Dr. Fauci stamp, and I think his stamp of approval is just really bad. And if he steps aside and let somebody else be the face of COVID-19, the situation would be better, I think.
Well, I mean, he's faced a lot of struggles because the previous administration and, would constantly, the back and forth was between President Trump and what President Trump was saying and what Fauci was saying.
You can't, I mean, to that, yeah. Again, drama sells, right? So I think they played up a lot of the drama. But at the end, it was Pence in charge of everything COVID, right? Like, eventually Pence took over the daily pressers. Eventually, Fauci took over the daily pressers. So, but then again, we're 9 months in, right? So, I haven't seen him change anything for the better within the last 9 months.
You know what? I'm gonna quote Dune only because the quote really stuck out to me. And if you haven't seen the new movie Dune on HBO Max, this is not a paid advertisement, but I know I definitely enjoyed it. I would recommend watching it. And I'm gonna try to read the books too if I ever get to it. But for us to ask him to step down would not be the proper thing to do. I think the proper thing to do is for him to do his fucking job. I mean, if we don't trust him anymore, that's fine, but he's our scientific officer. We can't just let him get away. If he was responsible, we should make him do his job. Tell him to do his fucking job and be honest with the American people. If he really was involved, come forward and say so. I would respect him way more if he came forward and said, you know what? I was involved. I was unaware. These are my facts. From what I know, from what I've been told. I think that's all we can ask him. And that's all we can really do. Because we can't send him to jail for signing off. If he did sign off on the on the loan.
Any criminal charges would be his lying to Congress or giving or false information to Congress. That would be, because that is a federal offense, right? Yeah. So that would be what he would go under. And I guess you could always put that off on somebody else. But at the end of the day, if he's the one coming in front of Congress and sitting down in front of all those senators to give the information, we should be able to trust that he has the most up-to-date and accurate information, not the information that makes him look good.
Yeah. Yoshi agrees. Well, this is y'all's Yoshi.
Well, that wraps up another great episode. And don't forget to join our amazing and supportive community on Discord.
In our Discord, you can find game nights, watch parties, food picks, Dungeons and Dragons, and more. What's not to love about that? We have a little something for everyone. Head over to our website, officialmillennials.com, and you'll find more info, especially our featured Gamer of the Week.
Speaking of something for everyone, we have a book club. We read a book almost every month and talk through it together. We also have a special perk for our subs to discuss other books in a series called Chapter 2.
Don't forget to swing by YouTube and drop us a follow at Official Millennials. You can also find us on Twitter at MillsOfficial. We appreciate all the support, and y'all have a good one.
This is an Official Millennials production.